Hello everybody, the Queen has spoken. More specifically, it's actually Tasha this time, but ARK Invest has updated their price target for 2025 and it has nearly doubled. It is now at $3,000 for 2025. That is their base case, $3,000. So today we're going to go over if I think this is reasonable, first of all, which with Tesla, I kind of leave it up to ARK because they monitor this a lot closer than us normal retail investors can possibly do. But still, I'll give my opinion on it. Plus, we'll look at the numbers currently, see how much they actually have to grow year over year, see how realistic that is, and overall just take a look at this crazy projection of $3,000. That is a pretty whopping number. That is just 4 years from now, or I guess 5 depending on if we're talking the end or beginning, but that's 400 to 500% from now, so this could potentially be a great buying opportunity. Remember everybody, if you guys are into penny stocks, SPACs, and EV companies, basically any high growth company, be sure to subscribe to this channel. That's all we talk about here. We only talk about the high flyers. We don't talk about the boring stocks. That's for my other channel, Market Theory. If you guys are more into boring stocks, go ahead and check that channel out. That's for boring dividend stocks, option plays, stuff like that. This is all high growth stocks. So please do try to get this number up. We're only at 139. Let's get this thing up to 1,000, would we? But with that out of the way, let's get into the video. Last thing though is if you guys do not have a brokerage or if you want to sign up for Robinhood, Webull, or M1 Finance, go ahead and use the links down below. That would highly help me out. It's nothing big, but it would help me out just a little bit and I'd appreciate it a lot. So to start off, let's see how they got here. So they use the Monte Carlo model with 34 inputs, the high and low forecasts incorporating 40,000 possible simulations. So the expected value is that this thing is $3,000. The bear case is $1,500 and that has a 25% probability. 4,000 has a 25% probability. So I would say it's definitely most likely it's between 1,500 and 3,000 specifically. In my opinion, once we read over this, I'll tell you guys why I think that, but that is still well over 100% from where we are now. So this chart right here shows where they are right now, where their bear case is, where their bull case is for all of these select things. So we're going to only go over a few of them. I'm just going to highlight what you guys need to know. If you don't understand this, I'm going to make this really dumbed down for you. Okay. So cars sold, they expect on their bear case 5 million cars, which is a lot of cars. In comparison, Ford sold 5.9 million cars in 2018 and they sold 4.2 in 2020. That's of course because of a lot of different things, but that's a lot of cars sold. Just think of the F-150. That car sold 900,000 and that's like every other car or at least every other truck on the road these days. So in perspective, that's a lot of cars. 5 million cars in 1 year is a lot of cars. Also estimate that the selling price will go down to 45. And with the bull case, they expect 10 million cars. In 10 million cars in perspective, guys, that is how many Toyota sells across a lot of countries. So that is very high hopes. That's why the main reason why I think that these numbers are the biggest to change, because I just don't know between 5 and 10. I think 5 is a reach at this point, depending on how good they could get into other markets. But the price, the average selling price has a lot to do with one, if they could get a $25,000 car, that is probably what this means because this is a $36,000 estimate for their average selling price. And that would help get us to 10 million cars a year. Obviously, if their cars aren't 50 grand, it makes it a little bit easier for the whole market to have a potential to actually own a car here. So that is electrical vehicle revenue. Now this year in total, they only had 30 billion in revenue. So they're estimating this number to grow drastically. Now this, with just car sales alone, Tesla is nothing more than just a car company, but they are well more than that. And we already know that because if just electric vehicle revenue, 234 billion, that's a big number. 234 on a price to sales ratio of where we are right now, which is right at this exact moment, we're at 600. So that's like a 3 times price to sales ratio looking into 2025, which would still be kind of rich considering it would be a pretty mature company at that point. But to get us to better numbers, which get us to a more fair value, we need to take account of all things that are going for them. The insurance revenue, this is a big one for them that can grow a lot. And that is because their cars are very safe. They get to monitor their customers a lot more easier than someone like Progressive because it's all integrated into the system. They can offer discounted rates and there would be literally no reason for any Tesla owner to have any other insurance besides Tesla's own insurance. That makes sense no matter what, bear, bullish, whatever. Everyone should have their insurance policy once that comes out. That is a great revenue stream for them. They estimate 23 billion on the bear side. So the last two here, this is human driven and this is autonomous. So they're estimating if it is not autonomous 100% by 2025, which is most likely probable, autonomous might be available in like the big hub cities potentially, but it's more likely that we get human driven, more like the Uber style with Tesla, which they estimate that could be bringing in $42 billion, which I don't know. That's the one that ARK likes to push a lot, but it's also one that I don't quite understand as much as I could. I need to dig more into that, but still it's a smaller portion of their revenue, 42 compared to all the rest of it. But in the bull case, they have it all under autonomous. Now I see it probably being more of a mix between the two of these if they do have autonomous, because as I said, I think it could be autonomous in bigger cities where everything's more close. But as for long drives with more complicated rides, more suburban areas, the Uber style is still going to be the way to go. So I could see a mix between these two. That's why I think it's going to be somewhere between the two of those. As for the margins, they expect this thing to pop up to 40%. That also includes, of course, upselling and stuff like that. So their margins are exceptional compared to, say, a Toyota or Ford or the companies we talked about. They had it 25% in the bull case, but that's just because they were frankly selling more cars at a lower price target. So the margins are shrunk on that for sure. But total margins go up because you have more autonomous driving, which is a huge revenue source if they can lock that down. Anyways, we go to the bear case because I want to stay mostly in this one. We end up with a $1.5 billion market cap or a $1,500 share price, which respectively would be well over 100%, basically almost 200% from where we are in the next 5 years, is a solid 40% a year. 40% a year is fantastic returns. It's nothing like what we've seen over the past year where it was like 1,000% in 1 year, but hey, don't be greedy. So as for their breakdown between every single one, we're just going to briefly touch on this. So they expect that 11,000 to 16,000, or that's what they previously estimated, 11,000 to 16,000 per incremental unit of capacity in 2024. In 2019, they brought this number down all the way to 9,200 per incremental vehicle. So that CapEx is looking very good for them. That's what they adjusted a lot in this, and that's why we get a much higher price target. They also pushed it out 1 year. Last year when they estimated 1,500 for 2024, that was 2024. So they're spreading out to 2025 now as their price target. So they're stretching it out a little bit, but also doubling their price target. So there's a big amount of things changing there. As for some other breakdowns, at Battery Day, Tesla announced that its updated cell chemistry and manufacturing process would reduce investment costs by 75% over time. But ultimately, they think between 5 and 10 million cars is very possible, which would put us between, Ford numbers and GM in the middle, and then like Toyota at the top. It's entirely possible. Of course, they are a brand that a lot of people want, but moving on to insurance, this one is very interesting to me because it's only available in California right now. They have not disclosed these numbers to us. They haven't shown us these numbers yet. And they're estimating with their cases is 40% of vehicles that buy their cars would use their insurance by 2025. I think that would be much higher. In most cases, they're able to track it better. And as long as the person's a somewhat safe driver, it should be cheaper for the most part, especially if they drive on autopilot. It's like the car's safety is basically all on itself, and Tesla always bets on itself. But if it were just 40% of all offerings, that would be $23 billion annually, which is already a whopping number. And this could also hurt the insurance community a lot because the other automakers are going to catch on to this and start their own insurance companies. I bet on that one. The ride hail is the most important part about getting us from 1,500 to like 3,000, for example, because this is a big number. If they don't have any ride hail service by 2025, I'm very confident this stock will not get above $2,000. Now, if they do introduce that, as they say right here, just the $20 billion in human-driven ride hailing is about $500 to the share price, which is massive. Now, fully autonomous adds a lot more because the revenue can get massive. They think that it could hit $160 billion in 2025 just from autopilot and robo-taxis. But even as they say, this has driven up their price target significantly. And this is why I don't like really taking the bull case, because that's assuming that, first of all, I have no doubt that Tesla can do it by themselves, but getting the government to accept this and approve this, I don't know about that one. They're not going to want Tesla to take over the world, first of all, and they're going to want to keep people like Uber and Lyft in business. So there's a lot to that. But anyways, bear case 1,500, which once again is over 100%. Expected value 300% or $300, which is very, very nice on the percentage level. 4,000 just blows everything out of proportion. So as for their expected $3,000 price target, this is how it's broken down. Revenue is broken down. Electric vehicles would be the majority of it. Robotaxis following up, human ride hail, and then insurance. So they have it as a little mix of human ride. I think it would be more like right down the middle if I were to say expected. As for EBITDA margins, robotaxi is definitely going to be the largest long-term, more like this, just because once you sell the car, it's all just profit at that point. And then market cap, robotaxis. Once again, this could make up a huge part of their $3 trillion market cap if that is the case. $3 trillion. But to add to the bullish side, they do not include Tesla utility energy storage, solar business, or Bitcoin into their assumptions. They don't assume Bitcoin's going to go up. They don't assume that their energy business is going to create money. So there's a lot more to this than just this. So they have left out a lot of things. And that's why they invite you guys to actually go in and make your own valuation on GitHub. You could do this right now if you want to. This is all out there to the public. You could check out this article too if you want to look deeper into it. I just wanted to update you guys on the price target, give a little breakdown for everyone that does not understand Tesla's business model at all, and also show you why we are so bullish on the stock as a whole community. The Tesla community is just so bullish on this for this exact reason. So guys, that's going to do it. If you enjoyed the video, please subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next video. Have a great day. Bye-bye.